Yes, Steph, the best whistleblowers money can buy.
By Cash Patel. Oh my God. You knew there was something up, right? As a lifelong prosecutor, when you saw Jim Jordan open up and go, I've got dozens of whistleblowers that have come to me, and Dan Goldman's like, did you take any notes? Do you have any, right? And these are apparently the best of the dozens, these three disgruntled cranks that are, conspiracy theorists and God knows what else, right? That's the best
Yeah,
they've got.
and Steph, initially I was troubled that we were going to have these Republican-led hearings, on the weaponized government, et cetera, et cetera. But now, as we watch them play out, all it does is it reinforces that the Republicans can't govern. They won't govern. They're not interested in governing. And so at this point, I'm like, you know what? Air all of these Republican-led hearings because it's like you're streaming a comedy series.
Yes.
And
Yes.
let's have a look at it all.
Mm-hmm. Well, we were saying, I guess what I didn't anticipate is how great our side is. I mean, not only they're smarter, but they're just armed with the facts, and they have just made mincemeat of these Republicans, I think, thus far. So I mean, what happens now with this weaponization committee and these? I mean, they've already been thoroughly. I mean, God, if you had these people as witnesses, right? Just their social media. We love that we were saying their lawyer begged the Democrats to stop asking questions about their social media posts because they're all lunatics, right?
Yeah, Alec Murdoch looks credible as compared to some of these clowns that the Jim Jordans are presenting to the American people. But, let them continue to circle the drain and expose themselves as what they are. What I think they'll do, Steph, is they'll begin to move away from their attempt to show that DOJ has somehow been, corrupted and weaponized by the Democrats. Now we're going to start to have hearings on drag shows and on banned books and on all sorts of other nonsense because that's really all they have.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's talk on the justice front. I'm going on vacation next week, so historically that means that's when there will be indictments.
Right.
You tweeted, Special Counsel Jack Smith goes on offense, asked judge to preemptively order Mike Pence to testify to the grand jury, Smith proving himself to be a different kind of federal prosecutor. You also tweeted District Attorney Fani Willis and Jack Smith are proving to be the 1-2 punch of justice. Might accountability actually be on the horizon? How you feel? Let me take your temperature this Friday.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good because, Jack Smith, the one thing that has really impressed me about him is not only that when he was a federal prosecutor, he went after crooked Republicans, he went after crooked Democrats. He brought really difficult, politically charged cases. He won some, he lost some. I respect a prosecutor who brings the really tough cases knowing that there is a risk of losing, but being driven by a need to attack public corruption. And remember, Steph, he didn't leave government service and go off to line his own pockets in a law firm. He went to prosecute war criminals. What does that tell you about this man's priorities? So when he's going proactive, he's trying to stop Mike Pence from invoking bogus privileges before Mike Pence even gets the opportunity to open his mouth. These are some really important indicators that we may have the right man for the moment.
Yeah. Well, the other big story, the DOJ said that Trump can be sued by police officers over the violence on J6. Attorneys for the Justice Department Civil Division made it clear in a court filing Trump does not have absolute immunity from multiple civil lawsuits filed by police officers and members of Congress that would seek to hold him liable for damages stemming from J6. Speaking to the public on matters of public concern is a traditional function of the presidency, and the outer perimeter of the president's office includes a vast realm of such speech. But that traditional function is one of public communication. It does not include incitement of imminent private violence of the sort the district found plaintiffs' complaints have plausibly alleged here. That's legally kind of a BFD, as someone would say, right?
This is a big deal. First and foremost, it's a big deal for the Capitol Police officers and the members of Congress that were injured, either physically or psychologically, by the Trump-launched attack on the Capitol on January 6th, because DOJ just weighed in and said, you know what, we are usually pretty darn protective of presidential immunity. and I think sometimes DOJ goes overboard protecting the president, but they said not here, because when you use a speech to incite imminent violence, you do not enjoy any presidential immunity. And the reason it's so important is not only for the litigants in the civil case, right, the people who are suing Donald Trump for damages, but this really does help clear a path for Jack Smith to move in the direction of indictments. Importantly, this is not any kind of precedent in the criminal matter, but if DOJ had gone the other way and they had said, you know what, we really do think he enjoys presidential immunity, and this was protected First Amendment speech, which they also shot down in this court ruling, that would have made Jack Smith's job so much more difficult. So again, this is a really important step in the right direction.
Well, you know, you and I would like justice on every front. At this point, we're all like, I'll take justice on any front. I mean, the second story, of course, is the two poll workers, Shay Moss and Lady Ruby. The J6 committee concluded without recommending any direct criminal or civil penalties against Giuliani, for one, but a civil suit from a pair of Georgia poll workers could be Giuliani's worst nightmare. This is from the I forget which source we're on there. Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss of Fulton County, Georgia, are turning their defamation lawsuit against Giuliani into a no-limits fact-finding mission, according to an undisclosed letter from their attorneys. Daily Beast, They tell Giuliani's defense lawyer that his objections to the J6 committee's questions about interactions with Trump were improper, warning they intend to bulldoze right over them. Giuliani was deposed Wednesday inside a Manhattan skyscraper. What is your take on this? Because, again, these poor women, had to move, have death threats. I mean, it seems like of the same kind of... Trump used this footage at a rally. Like they repeated these lies over and over again. And
Trump repeated them long after they were debunked by his own agencies and his own officials. I hope, they're going to take Rudy to the cleaners. There's no two. And if anybody needs to go to the cleaners, it's Rudy. They're going to take him to the cleaners
just to get the shoe polish off. Yeah.
And because, look, Rudy was caught lying to legislators down in Georgia about the election results. And he was named as a target by Fani Willis in her grand jury investigation. So in this civil suit, you bet that Ruby and Shay will take him to the cleaners.
Yeah. I mean, it's so, and it was just so blatantly racist, Glenn. You know what I mean? It was just like his reference to like, oh, they look like they were selling, buying crack or whatever. I mean, it was just so, look at this video. Ooh, look at the two black ladies, and Trump playing it at his rally for these, it just, the whole thing is, I really do. I hope they, okay, so where else do we go? Oh, even more classified documents found in Trump's office at Mar-a-Lago. These docs have been uploaded to a cloud. Is that not another disseminating of classified information? Is that not yet another crime, or am I losing count?
No, it's more classified documents crimes. These were committed long after the FBI searched his office and recovered a bunch of classified documents. Lo and behold, even after that, he has more classified documents in his office proper. And, it really does begin to just make a mockery out of the fact that DOJ hasn't charged him for any of his crimes, because he continues to commit crime after crime.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell the Department of Justice is waiting for.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, I'm interested in the other people. For instance, you tweeted Chief Judge Beryl Howell unseals order directing Representative Scott Pardon Me Perry's cell phone disclosed to federal prosecutors because justice matters. All of these people that were involved in this and asked for pardons, what is your take on where these indictments are going to go ultimately?
I hope Jack Smith goes big and broad and wide and sweeping. The Scott Perry development is actually pretty important because, first of all, a judge concluded there was evidence of crime in Scott Perry's phone. So the phone was seized. The prosecutors, Steph, have never looked at what's in that phone. Instead, they did the right thing. They handed it off to Chief Judge Beryl Howell. They said, in the event any of this enjoys speech or debate privilege, Judge, we want you to look at it. Here's what Perry said. Perry said, yeah, you're darn right. 2,200 of my emails and text messages have enjoyed speech or debate privilege, and the prosecutors can never look at them. You know what Judge Beryl Howell said? Yeah, no. 2,055 of the 2,200 you claimed are privileged have absolutely no privilege. What does that tell you? That tells you, Steph, that when we see those messages, we're going to see precisely why Scott Perry asked for a pardon, because he committed crimes and he wanted to get away with them.
Here's another name, Chuck Grassley, that you tweeted about. It's also, is it the Rolling Stone story he's in? They call him conspiracy curious, that he's involved somehow with these fake whistleblowers. And you said Senator Grassley said he would be presiding over the J6 proceeding because Pence would not be available. I assume Jack Smith is investigating this to assess Grassley's role, if any, in the conspiracy to defraud the United States. And now Grassley's prattling on about Hunter's laptop. I mean, as you also tweeted, you were on Nicole Wallace talking about in 2023, America's adversaries are Americans. They are the power brokers now, right, in Congress.
It used to be we would investigate foreign adversaries, and now our adversaries in 2023 are Fox News, a former chief of staff to the President of the United States, Mark Meadows, a treasonous congressman, Scott Perry, a former president who was a criminal who tried to overthrow our election. And it's horrific to say that America's adversaries are Americans now, but that's what we're contending with.
It's true. Yeah, no, it's true. Well, I mean, I'm going to stay happy clappy. You said Trump's unhinged rants and prosecutors like Jack Smith and Fani Willis signal Trump knows what's coming and he's powerless to stop it. So what is he really trying to accomplish by attacking Willis and Smith? I mean, I don't know. To try to figure out why Donald Trump does anything, I guess, is a fool's errand, right?
Yeah, I talked a lot about Jack Smith, but let's remember the first one out of the indictment chute may very well be District Attorney Fani Willis, and I do think history will look very fondly on Fani Willis and ultimately Jack Smith and other prosecutors who do the really hard and unprecedented work of holding a former president accountable for his crimes against the United States.
You know, you tweeted speaking of Fani Willis, of the Georgia grand juror. You said grand juror did nothing wrong by giving interviews about Trump criminal investigation, as the Georgia state court judge explains. And this is what you told us last Friday, which calmed us down. I don't know if you happened to see SNL. You know, the Trump character, they had her on there, and then the Trump character says, "Oh, they almost had me," and then she started talking, and I was like, "Oh." I know this is a comedy show and not Glenn Kirschner, but I think that's what we're all nervous about, right? Is that one thing goes wrong and it stops justice from coming.
Yeah, you know what? There will be some bumps along the way once the indictments start dropping. And I've said this all along, and I believe it now more than ever. Once the first brave prosecutor steps up and indicts Donald Trump, trust me, Steph, I know prosecutors. Every other prosecutor who believes they have a charge to bring against Donald Trump will feel like, oh, wait, me too. I can't be made to look bad. Not that that's what drives our prosecutorial decision-making train, looking good or looking bad, but they're going to have to step up once the barrier is broken.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think the wave is coming.
Yep. Oh, good. I loved I just finished with your last tweet. You said the Dilbert guy, the pillow guy, the Kraken lady, the Jewish space laser lady. Why is there so much hate in America? What happened with malice toward none? What happened to love thy neighbor? Does anybody remember kindness? Wow. Thank you. I mean, this Rolling Stone, despite what a clown show this is with these fake whistleblowers and whatever, I don't know if you saw one of the tweets of one of these witnesses was that Lauren Boebert falsely tweeted that Joe Biden had cancer, and the agent tweeted hurry cancer about Joe Biden.
Oh, my God.
Hate has had a good run over the past 4 years, and now it's time for empathy and kindness and decency to have a good run. And I swear, I feel like the tide is going to turn.
Yeah. Just one last one. Lindy Lee tweeted, Matt Gaetz and Green questioned Jamie Raskin's fitness because he lost his son to suicide. Well, he served on the J6 committee, led the impeachment, wrote a book, schooled Boebert in front of the world, and is battling cancer. Others, other than terrorizing our capital, WTF have these morons done? I mean, it is
and it shows their desperation. It shows their desperation. They have no policy. They have nothing that they're doing to actually improve the lives of the American people. So what they do is they attack people that they perceive to be hurting or weak or damaged. That's a sign of weakness and desperation. And that's why I say hate has had its day, And now, you know what? Kindness, empathy, and decency is going to have its day.
Yeah, and also, you know what else is coming? Justice. And also, it's coming next week because I'm going on vacation. You're welcome, America. I'll miss you, Glenn Kirschner.
It'll be indictment palooza.
All right, Steph, have a great time.
I'm Chef Shanti, and today I'm going to show you my version of mozzarella stuffed arancini.